to commune with himself and to choose some one of the optional routes to Havona and to select from the differential techniques of paradise attainment. But still are these brilliant beings more or less material. They are far from being true spirits. They are more like supermortals, spiritually speaking, still a little lower than the angels, but they are truly becoming marvelous creatures. During the sojourn on world number 6, the Mansion World students achieve a status which is comparable with the exalted development characterizing those evolutionary worlds which have normally progressed beyond the initial stage of light and life. The organization of society on this Mansonia is of a high order. The shadow of the mortal nature grows less and less as these worlds are ascended one by one. You are becoming more and more adorable as you leave behind the coarse vestiges of planetary animal origin. Coming up through great tribulation serves to make glorified mortals very kind and understanding, very sympathetic and tolerant. 9. The Seventh Mansion World. The experience on this sphere is the crowning achievement of the immediate post-mortal career. During your sojourn here you will receive the instruction of many teachers, all of whom will cooperate in the task of preparing you for residence on Jerusalem. Any discernible differences between those mortals hailing from the isolated and retarded worlds and those survivors from the more advanced and enlightened spheres are virtually obliterated during the sojourn on the Seventh Mansion World. Here you will be purged of all the remnants of unfortunate heredity, unwholesome environment, and unspiritual planetary tendencies. The last remnants of the Mark of the Beast are here eradicated. While sojourning on Mansonia number 7, permission is granted to visit Transition World number 7, the world of the Universal Father. Here you will begin a new and more spiritual worship of the Unseen Father, a habit you will increasingly pursue all the way up through your long ascending career. You find the Father's temple on this world of transitional culture, but you do not see the Father. Now begins the formation of classes for graduation to Jerusalem. You have gone from world to world as individuals, but now you prepare to depart for Jerusalem in groups, although within certain limits, an ascender may elect to tarry on the Seventh Mansion World for the purpose of enabling a tardy member of his earthly or Mansonia working group to catch up with him. The personnel of the Seventh Mansonia assemble on the Sea of Glass to witness your departure for Jerusalem with residential status. Hundreds or thousands of times you may have visited Jerusalem, but always as a guest. Never before have you proceeded toward the system capital in the company of a group of your fellows who are bidding an eternal farewell to the whole Mansonia career as ascending mortals. You will soon be welcomed on the receiving field of the headquarters world as Jerusalem citizens. You will greatly enjoy your progress through the 7 dematerializing worlds. They are really demortalizing spheres. You are mostly human on the first mansion world, just a mortal being minus a material body, a human mind housed in a Urantia form, a material body of the Urantia world, but not a mortal house of flesh and blood. You really pass from the mortal estate to the immortal status at the time of adjuster fusion, and by the time you have finished the Jerusalem career, you will be full-fledged Urantians. 10. Jerusalem citizenship. The reception of a new class of Mansion World graduates is the signal for all Jerusalem to assemble as a committee of welcome. Even the Spornasia enjoy the arrival of these triumphant ascenders of evolutionary origin, those who have run the planetary race and finished the Mansion World progression. Only the physical controllers and the Urantia power supervisors are absent from these occasions of rejoicing. John the Revelator saw a vision of the arrival of a class of advancing mortals from the 7th Mansion World to their first heaven, the glories of Jerusalem. He recorded, "And I saw as it were a sea of glass mingled with fire, and those who had gained the victory over the beast that was originally in them, and over the image that persisted through the Mansion Worlds, and finally over the last mark and trace, standing on the sea of glass, having the harps of God, and singing the song of deliverance from mortal fear and death." Perfected space communication is to be had on all these worlds, and your anywhere reception of such communications is made possible by carrying the Harp of God, a Urantia contrivance compensating for the inability to directly adjust the immature Urantia sensory mechanism to the reception of space communications. Paul also had a view of the ascendant citizen core of perfecting mortals on Jerusalem, for he wrote, "But you have come to Mount Zion, and to the city of the living God, the heavenly Jerusalem, and to an innumerable company of angels, to the grand assembly of Michael, and to the spirits of just men being made perfect." After mortals have attained residence on the system headquarters, no more literal resurrections will be experienced. The Urantia form granted you on departure from the mansion world career is such as will see you through to the end of the local universe experience. Changes will be made from time to time, but you will retain this same form until you bid it farewell when you emerge as first-stage spirits preparatory for transit to the super-universe worlds of ascending culture and spirit training. 7 times do those mortals who pass through the entire Mansonia career experience the adjustment sleep and the resurrection awakening, but the last resurrection hall, the final awakening chamber, was left behind on the 7th mansion world. No more will a form change necessitate the lapse of consciousness or a break in the continuity of personal memory. The mortal personality, initiated on the evolutionary worlds and tabernacled in the flesh, indwelt by the mystery monitors and invested by the Spirit of Truth, is not fully mobilized, realized, and unified until that day when such a Jerusalem citizen is given clearance for Urantia and proclaimed a true member of the Urantia Corps of Nebadon, an immortal survivor of a juster association, a paradise ascender, a personality of Urantia status, and a true child of the Most Highs. Mortal death is a technique of escape from the material life in the flesh, and the Mansonia experience of progressive life through 7 worlds of corrective training and cultural education represents the introduction of mortal survivors to the Urantia career, the transition life which intervenes between the evolutionary material existence and the higher spirit attainment of the ascenders of time, who are destined to achieve the portals of eternity. Sponsored by a brilliant evening star.